If you want to get involved, not just in random projects, but like in really integrating yourself within the community of high-end Colombia, this is the spot. And you could take it with you in every single major city, really. You'll find people who have come to his event and be able to reconnect with them online, right? And either continue to do deals, or if anything, they would refer deals to you because it's pretty open over here and nobody's gonna really choke you out on any referral fees usually. Hi, my name is Blake Toves. Before I ran into Thomas, heard about his events, I actually knew a lot of people that were already in the Entrepreneur's House just through casual hanging out at cigar lounges, going to parties here in Medellin, and I usually like to surround myself with people who are very sincere about what they're doing, but also know how to have a good time along the way. And so that's just what I got whenever I went to the first Entrepreneur House event. And since I've been to multiple, always picking up great gems and relationships and the people there. It's important whenever you enter a mastermind that you can trust people around you with your trade secrets, with your special sauce, because that's what defines your success in a lot of cases. And people often want to know, like, what led you to become successful and what do you need right now? And so you don't want to just connect with really anybody. You want to make sure it's a curated group of folks, and Thomas has really put together a good group of people for that. When I entered into my first mastermind, there was a fella that I was already kind of talking to, but we didn't really connect at a business level. And when we connected on a business level, it turns out he really needed a service that I had, payment processing, and then he comes on board and ends up working with me and processing, over 100 grand. And that led to many other amazing relationships. And it's everything kind of domino effects. And when you show up to these events, sometimes there's beyond business, you meet people who share the same values and you'd want to even have a family together. So I met a woman through Thomas's event, and that was really cool because you don't really expect that sort of thing to happen at these things, but very beautiful, speaks English well. We're out here in Colombia, so it's there's hidden gems here and there, and there's not all out to just do you wrong or take you on a short-term ride. And Thomas really has a really good curated set of not just business people, but folks who can really add value to other areas of your life. So when you think of entrepreneurs you'd meet in Colombia, especially the Americans, they're rather adventurous. Like I'd find in, say, Puerto Rico, a lot of folks move down there. Any part of Latin America where there's expats, they're very adventurous and they can be successful, but they're not in a box like they're corporate drones in New York City. That doesn't mean that they are any less successful. In fact, they've hacked life in a lot of cases because now they are enjoying every single dimension to its fullest potential. And I think if you want to get a taste, or if you're even new to this sort of lifestyle of both having the health, the wealth, the love, the happiness, and not just prioritizing one in particular, but wanting to optimize all, meeting people in Thomas's event would give you a glimpse into what kind of, what's possible, and then what you really need to do to get there. And I'd say that some of the speakers that have showed up are incredible. We were talking about those who have been shoulder to shoulder with special forces operators, cracking down on some of the human trafficking operations in South America. You got folks who are combating poverty, who are going directly into the street, not arm's length, but no, directly bringing food to people who need it, bringing resources to people who need it. So if you've ever felt like, man, the work that I'm doing just isn't having the impact, well, your dollar will go a longer way in places like South America and places like Colombia. And if you want to see the type of impact that could have firsthand, you could hear it from people in Thomas's group, and then you can make a plan of action for yourself so you can, at the end of the year, feel proud of your work and know how that's impacting other people's lives. What I love about the community in particular is that whenever we do these events, I feel at home, but also excited. And the food is all curated well. You can really just go up to anybody and nobody's got like this stiff upper lip and like they're better than you. They're very collaborative, and you may not know, but you could talk to one guy and he could be just starting his business and very curious and ask some really good questions. But most of the time you're gonna run into folks who have already spent a decade into business. They're talking about buying real estate portfolios. They're talking about buying their next business, launching the next high-end venue in the popular area of the city. So if you wanna get involved, not just in random projects, but like in really integrating yourself within the community of high-end Colombia, this is the spot. And you could take it with you in every single major city, really. You'll find people who have come to his event and be able to reconnect with them online, right? And either continue to do deals, or if anything, they would refer deals to you because it's pretty open over here and nobody's gonna really choke you out on any referral fees usually. I met word of mouth through some friends about the Entrepreneur's House, and Thomas was kind enough to let me in his first event without going through an extensive application process, just because I had a personal relationship. Now I know it's a little bit more selective on who they just let in, and so if you do happen to get inside, then it'd be an incredible honor and opportunity for you. Just want to make sure you take advantage of it, and that when you are in, that you're not just letting opportunities pass by. So if you're the type of person that can see the secondary, tertiary consequences of every new relationship that you build, every business action, joining this group would bring a lot of value to you, because there is such a mix. It's not like you're just going into this real estate investor mastermind or this, say, stock trader investing mastermind. You have this amalgamation of folks from different backgrounds who are all very successful. And one of my mentors, Jay Abraham, said that one of the best things he could do for his marketing genius, his mind, is to just look at the parallels between all these different industries that exist and what they use for promotion and what they use for hiring, and then see if somehow a thing from one industry that works really well could actually cross over and be useful in the one that you're currently in. And then that is where you find a unique edge that nobody else is doing in the marketplace. And that is what I have found personally by engaging with people at the Entrepreneur's House. I would say when you assess a mastermind, it's not just about the cost, but the time. And then you look at the ROI on time. When you meet a lot of people who can benefit you now and in the future, versus going to an industry-specific networking event, this has a higher ROI on your time, because you usually don't want to be in an echo chamber of folks who are in your same industry if you want to grow. You need to be around people who are outside of it, because they will often, without even caring that you would, because they're not competing with you, right? They would give you an idea that could actually be your next big idea. And so if you're at a stage right now where you're trying to figure out what you need to grow, or maybe like a specific person or even an idea, you have to go to these sorts of events and stay far away from events that are even of your own industry. Yeah, I would just say, like, the big benefit of Entrepreneur's House is the diversity, and you got to lean into that. And just because somebody, you may be so narrowed in, tunnel vision into a specific industry, and just because somebody is not in your industry does not mean that 10-minute conversation could very well 2 to 3x what you're doing right now, because it can. It will. You just have to look at it through a much more creative lens. And I believe you'll have a lot of success networking with the Entrepreneur's House.